Hey, Walter Sorrells back with more tips for the knife maker. Today, the solution to your knife making problems. Or not. So you want to get that knife shaving sharp, whether it's for the kitchen, the grill, the fishing camp, or just everyday carry pocket knives. Getting that knife crazy sharp is a big challenge for a lot of knife owners. But sharpening can be frustrating, and doing it right can take a lot of skill. But well-designed sharpening systems can erase all that frustration, leaving you with razor-sharp knives. Today, I'll be reviewing the Hapstone RS. Is this knife sharpener the king of sharp, or heading for the trash pile? Let's find out. Now, if you're a knife fanatic, you may be aware that there are a bunch of kind of similar sharpeners made by various companies in the Ukraine and Russia. Spoiler alert, they're all pretty good, but the common criticism is that the robust construction and the excellent design comes at a cost. And that cost is cost. Hapstone, a Ukrainian outfit, offers this smaller, lighter little brother to its R2, which I reviewed several years ago, to address exactly this problem. Coming in at $199 US, the RS is a good deal cheaper than many of the sharpeners it competes with. Can't say it's dead cheap, but cheaper. So, let's dive in. Now, I should mention that I'm not being paid for this review, but Hapstone did provide the kit to me for free, so take that how you will. First, a tour. The Hapstone ships disassembled with various screwdrivers and Allen wrenches and other attachments included in the box. My man card had plenty of points this month, so I broke down and consulted the clear and well-illustrated directions. With this assistance, assembly took a good solid 8 minutes. The sharpener consists of a sturdy steel stand, an adjustable post, a pair of clamps for the knife that are attached to a little clutch kind of thing that allows you to flip the knife from side to side, and an arm that holds your grinding stone. In this case, Hapstone sent me CBN or cubic boron nitride sharpening stones, but there are a wide variety of stones available at a wide variety of prices. Here's how it works. Using this set screw on the side of the post, you can raise or lower the arm, allowing you to set or adjust the sharpening angle. Cool little magnetic joint at the top, which allows it to articulate easily in all directions. So you just screw these adjustable clamps onto the frame, and you're ready to insert your knife and tighten it with the enclosed Allen wrench. Then you insert a sharpening stone, which runs along this little arm, and that's it, you're ready to sharpen. Quick note here, if you've been wanting to try knife making yourself, next month I'm going to be introducing a really in-depth course to guide you through the knife making experience from the very first steps to completion of your first knife. Very easy to get information and find out if what I'm offering makes sense for you. Just click the link in the cards and description. I'll send you a free PDF about getting started in knife making along with information about the course. You've been thinking about it for years. This is your chance to finally do it. All right, back to sharpening. The basic idea, as with all sharpening, is to start with a heavy grit abrasive to set your angle and basic geometry, then move up through the grits to whatever level of sharpness you're looking for. In this case, my stones ran from 100 to 5,000 grit. Let me stop here to mention a little bit about these stones. This is really important when it comes to these kind of sharpeners. There are a ton of different stones available for this rig. Hapstone sells about 10 types, running from $71 for a set of 5 aluminum oxide stones, through boride, ceramic, diamond, all the way to their premium CBN set, which is the one that I have here, which costs $445 on their website. Now, these stones are all standard sizes that are used by a bunch of different sharpening systems, so if you don't want to spring for the ones that they sell, you can buy super cheap Chinese versions on Amazon for less. But, of course, you know how that goes. You get what you get. So, 2 points here. First, you have to factor the price of the stones into the cost of the rig. And second, they all work, so do not feel like you have to get CBN or diamonds. The advantage of the more expensive stones is not that they sharpen better, they just sharpen faster. If you sharpen 20 knives at a time and you do it every week or two, then, well, either you have a minor psychological disorder or you work at a slaughterhouse. But in either case, diamonds or CBN will make quicker work of the job. But if you sharpen your trusty pocket knife once a month or whatever, then aluminum oxide will get the job done just fine. Point is, you have options. Okay, so let's sharpen a knife and see the sharpener in operation. Loading the knife's pretty easy. If you have a big knife, you can flip these clamps around, but for most knives, this configuration with the little clampy part on the inside is just fine. The simplest way to set the angle is to use a Sharpie. There's one thoughtfully enclosed to mark the edge. Then run the sharpener quickly over the edge and see how much Sharpie it takes off. If it takes off all the Sharpie, you're good to go. You're at exactly the same angle as the previous bevel. If not, adjust until you're happy. Now, suppose you bought a knife and you want to regrind the blade to a particular angle that you like. Easy. You can put an angle finder here, and you can buy an angle finder for Hapstone or use your own if you already have one. You just set the 0 right in this little spot that's specifically made for this. Then move it to this surface here. Again, it's designed to do this, and adjust the post until you have exactly the angle you want. Now it's time to sharpen. Start with a heavy grit. In this case, I'm using the 100 grit CBN. I mean, this thing is aggressive. It just takes a few strokes to clean up the blade. Now, obviously, if your knife is dull as a shovel, it'll take longer, but these CBN stones are sweet. They really work fast. So you work one side, and then you flip to the other. I usually go back and forth a couple times just to make sure I'm working things evenly. Once I raise a wire edge that I can feel with my finger, I'll jump to 80 grit. If you grip the ball of the arm like so and pull back on the bottom jaw with 2 fingers, it just takes seconds to swap out your stone. Sharpen, sharpen, sharpen. Once you can see the scratches from the 100 go away, it's on to 150, 400, 800, 1500, and finally 5000. There's really no great trick to this. That's the whole point of it. Now personally, with the lower grit stones, I cut on both the up and down stroke. On the final stone, I just go in one direction, down toward the edge. I don't know if it's the recommended approach, but it works for me. Now, my understanding is that CBN doesn't require oil, but in the interest of science, I tried it anyway. Didn't seem to make much difference one way or the other. Hapstone didn't send me strops, but they do sell them. If you're really aiming for shaving sharpness, you always want to strop an edge too. They have a bunch of different models of strops, all of them pretty cheap, leather, they got a whole bunch of different ones. As you can see, the clamps will sometimes mar your blade, so if you're the kind of guy who cares about the appearance of your knives, and I am most definitely not, then you'll want to throw a piece of tape into the clamp jaws before you tighten them up. By the way, if you like this knife, it's a prototype for one of my new Tactics Armory blades, the Nightfall model that I'll be releasing soon. Check tacticsarmory.com for details. I'll be offering a discount for pre-orders, so act now because the pre-order pricing won't last but a week or so. Anyway, that's really all there is to it. I took this 30-year-old commercial kitchen knife to shaving sharp in about 5 minutes. So, overall thoughts? The Hapstone RS is a very well-designed, effective system. Unless you have a lot of giant knives, this works just as well as some of its larger cousins. Now, some of these kind of sharpeners work best when clamped to a work table, so I did that, but I also found out that it was really well balanced, nicely designed, and it actually works better just resting freely on the countertop, assuming you've got a nice stable counter to put it on. My one major reservation about this sharpening system is the blade clamps, which frankly are a little flimsy. Now, having tested a ton of similar sharpeners and actually having built some sharpening clamps myself a couple of times, I can tell you that making good, simple clamps is really, really hard. So I kind of give them a mulligan on that, but still, if you're a maniac for sharpening or you have very big, thick knives, you'll want to look at the RS's big brother, the R2, which has larger, beefier, and more importantly, more adaptable clamps that will easily admit much thicker blades. If you're that guy that likes, big fantasy knives or 1/4 inch thick forged Bowie knives and things like that, this is not for you. So bottom line, if you tried sharpening freehand, it's been frustrating, you just haven't had much success, or if you want to move up from some sort of ultra cheap sharpening system to something that really gets the job done, the Hapstone RS may just be the thing for you. Now, the beauty of this kind of sharpener is that it takes all the skill and aggravation out of sharpening. Literally anybody can just take it out of the box and bring a dull knife to a professional level of sharpness in a few minutes. Chefs, hunters, home cooks, barbecue fanatics, knife makers like me, pocket knife enthusiasts, people who carry knives professionally, military, law enforcement, EMTs, people in the building trades, whatever. It'll work for all of you. Now, if you're a pro chef or a super duper sharpness nerd, you might want to spring for the CBN stones that I showed here. If not, maybe save a few bucks and stick with the less expensive stones. Either way, nice product and a reasonably attractive price. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like what we're doing here, please subscribe and make sure that you click on that bell so you get notified of all the latest videos. Want to buy a knife from me? Check out my modern blades at tacticsarmory.com. Digging the channel? You can support our video making efforts on Patreon. I've been banging away on these videos for like 10 years, so I hope you'll show some love for all that hard work. Link in the cards and descriptions. Finally, if you're interested in making Japanese swords, check out my full line of Japanese sword videos where I show how to forge Japanese swords as well as how to polish them and how to make fittings, handles, and scabbards. WalterSorrellsBlades.com.